Hello everyone, and welcome to my decisions environment. Here, we are going to be going over how to utilize the profiler and the logs to analyze performance inside of your decisions server. We are going to be running the profiler from the project level, in our case, the performance testing project, the one that has our same recipe management system over here, and that is what we are going to be trying to determine what is causing the slowness. So if you navigate underneath Manage, Health, you'll see this section called Profiler. When I click on this, I'm going to get a particular dashboard here that is going to allow me to be able to check everything that is running inside of the server. Now, if you're in Decisions version 9.11 and below, you might see this already running because the default decisions setting was set to automatically start the profiler whenever the server was started. However, in Decisions version 9.12, it is not started automatically. Now you can turn it on and off at will, but it may mean that you see some stuff already here if you're in one of those lower versions, whereas on this screen, you're not going to see anything because I haven't started it yet. So let's talk about starting a profile session. What we want to do is actually just click the button up here, Start New Profile Session. We want to give it a name that's descriptive. So I'm going to keep the date for the profile, and I am going to call this Dashboard and Action Test for backlog. And this summarized profile events less than 5 milliseconds you can keep on. What this allows you to do is specify for any event that takes place that is less than the set amount of time here, we're simply going to summarize it instead of breaking it down into its individual services or components that are running, which is fine. If something is taking less than 5 milliseconds to run in this particular project, that is not a problem, and that is not something that we need to analyze. We're going to keep the rest of these settings the same and click OK. And once that's done, we are now going to perform the actions that cause the slowness. So we'll first start by navigating to the recipe management dashboard. We're going to allow these to try to load so they all get captured by the profiler. It's going to take this one below a little while, so we're just going to wait here. So the profile is going to capture everything that's running inside of your project and system-wide. So you'll want to be able to sift through it to determine what's causing the performance issues that you're looking at. Now, we are going to go over how to interpret these results in a different video. But for now, I'm going to show you how to collect this information, and then we're going to go into the logs and see if that gives us any further insights. So now that the report has loaded, let's kick off our work backlog item flow. Okay, I'm going to put some information in here just to be able to trigger some actions, and I'm going to hit cancel. Okay, now we're going to go back to our profiler, and you're going to see a lot more stuff over here. We're going to start by selecting download text view. Okay, by clicking on this, this is going to download a text file that's going to contain all the information about the time it took for these individual processes to execute. After that, you can choose to stop profiling. Okay, so now we have the profile.txt, and it's going to look something like this. Here we go. So this is what you should be seeing inside of your profile text. Something along this lines that's going to have a header at the top here. You're going to have trace data, and the sections for those particular processes that are occurring are going to be separated by these hyphens. So now let's go look at the logs. We can go to the logs for a particular project by clicking on this. And then here we can see any sort of steps that are taking too long to execute. Remember, our keyword is took. That's going to help us find those particular steps that took a certain amount of time to perform, and because they took above that certain time, they got logged. So we're going to filter by took, And these are all the logs in which a particular process was recorded to take a certain set of time. Now, this one right here, that is quite a long time, right? So that's at least 15 seconds to execute. You will want to be able to analyze these to find where your particular flow might be stopping. We have a step backlog fetch. This is our REST service method that's fetching the backlog entities, and we see that it took over 4 seconds to execute. So our API is a little slow as well. Now, in order to preserve these logs, you're going to want to drop down this all functionality and click download logs as zip, or you can right-click the logs folder. Doing this will allow you to be able to view these logs inside of text files, and you can preserve them because the logs will continue to build up as other processes occur. Downloading the logs and opening the folder is going to give you something that looks like this. You have WebCore logs, WebCore usage logs, WebCore usage details, any logs that are categorized separately, and the primary SHMCC logs. Now, as for the ones that are categorized separately, these can be determined and categorized by whatever settings you configure in the portal. Decisions does not do this automatically for most logs. So if you want to capture purely email-related logs in a separate folder, or maybe SSO logs, you can categorize those separately, and it makes sifting through the logs easier if you're looking for problems in those particular areas. For your case, looking for logs that are going to record the amount of time that something took to execute are going to be in the decisions WebCore logs. The WebCore log that does not have a number is going to be the most recent log. Opening this up is going to show all of the different logs that are in here. And just like before, we can do a Control F and find every log that shows the word took in it. Keep in mind that logs roll over time. That is to say that WebCore log 10, WebCore log 9, 8, 7, these are all rolled over logs from the WebCore log above it. So when this log either 1 gets to full or 2 gets rolled over from a service restart, it is going to put all of this information into WebCore log 1 and it starts a new WebCore log. WebCore 1 pushes them all to WebCore 2, WebCore 2 to WebCore 3. You go down the chain over here, and then after WebCore 10, they're simply gone. So that is how you access the logs for your project. And if you want to access the logs for the entire system, in case your performance issues are spanning multiple projects, you want to click on this gear icon, go down to Administration, System Tools, and Logging. And you can do the exact same thing over here where you can filter the message by took and get only those logs that appear when a process took a set amount of time to execute. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope this helped.